Imagine yourself standing at the airport baggage claim. We have all been there, watching suitcase after suitcase circle around the belt. Now, imagine that every bag you see is not filled with clothes, it's filled with pieces of your past history. One bag holds your painful heartbreak, another carries childhood wounds. A smaller one hides the fear of being hurt again, and over in the corner is the really heavy trunk, the one stuffed with old traumas you have been dragging around for years. Here's the thing, you're not the only one at this baggage claim. We all have baggage. Every single person carries something. The real question is not, do I have baggage? It's, what do I do with this baggage? Once I step into a relationship so my baggage does not weigh me down or sabotage or block the intimate relationship I really want. This podcast is for the soul who knows there is more, the one who's been carrying it all for far too long. If you're ready to let go of old stories, to stop replaying the past and start living from your truth, you're in the right place. This is your moment to release the noise and reconnect to what's real. Welcome to Baggage BeGone, Healing Hearts and Minds. I'm Tami Mahmali. Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me today on Baggage BeGone, Healing Hearts and Minds podcast. I'm Tami, and in this episode, we are going to unpack the mental and emotional baggage we bring into our relationships. We will look at what baggage really is, how it sneaks into our intimate relationships, love and connection, and most importantly, how to finally release it so you can move forward with more ease, trust, and more freedom to be you in your relationships. I will share the practical tools I use with my clients, from forgiveness to the healing power of hypnosis to working with the subconscious mind, so you can start clearing out old stories, hurts, and traumas that no longer serve you. I also want to thank you so much for being here and giving yourself the time. If you find today's conversation helpful, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share with someone that might find it helpful. It means so much to me. Now, let's dive in. What emotional baggage you bring into your relationships and how to release it. What is emotional baggage? You've probably heard people say things like, she has a lot of baggage, or I'm still dealing with my baggage. But what does that really mean? Simply put, emotional baggage is all the unresolved feelings, stories, hurts, traumas, and experiences from our past that we carry into our present lives and relationships. It's unfinished business, stress, pain, and disappointments that never fully healed, yet still take up so much space in our hearts, minds, and even in our bodies. These old wounds often circulate through our energetic field, shaping how we see the world and how we respond to others. And here's something important. Not all of this baggage is only ours. Some of it can be energy passed down to us through generations, family, patterns that we never resolved, or even impressions that feel like they come from further back than this lifetime. At its core, most baggage comes from unprocessed trauma, wounds, hurts that shape how we think, feel, and react today. This baggage can come from many places. It might be from past relationships, a betrayal that made it hard to trust again. It could even begin in the womb, when you were already absorbing your mother's stress or emotions. It often roots in your childhood, when maybe you didn't get the love, attention, or safety you needed. And those unmet needs keep showing up in adulthood. Trauma, loss, family, conflicts, or any painful life event can leave deep imprints in our energy. Over time, those experiences pack our suitcases with heavy beliefs, stories like, I'm not good enough. That I hear a lot. Fears like people will leave me, abandon me, or habits like shutting down during arguments, not speaking up, not showing up, procrastinating because conflicts once felt unsafe. So how do you know if you or your partner or anyone that you have a relationship with are carrying emotional baggage? It usually shows up in patterns and reactions that don't really match the present moment. And I want you to pay attention to it. For example, when there is a lack of trust, and lack of trust is a big red flag. If you have been lied to or betrayed before, you might walk into a new relationship constantly scanning for signs of disloyalty, even if your partner has done nothing wrong. You might feel paranoid or anxious, always waiting for the other shoe to drop because your nervous system has been trained to think, to believe, to expect disappointment. Baggage can also look like anger, guilt, shame, resentment, or frustration that comes out of nowhere. Maybe small things trigger big reactions because they touch an old, unhealed story, wound, or maybe you replay past mistakes in your mind, blaming, shaming yourself over and over, and dragging that regret into your present moment. In short, when we don't heal the pain of the past, we end up reliving it in the present. It's like using old, outdated templates to translate new situations. And that ends up sabotaging our relationships, our peace of mind, and sometimes even our visions and dreams. The truth is, those old patterns, stories, behaviors may have once protected us, and they are stored in our subconscious mind. So our subconscious mind tries to warn us and make us safe, but holding it tight. They are no longer serving who we are today. They not letting us move forward into the love that we want, to the relationships, into the business, into anything in life that we want when we want to upgrade. How emotional baggage impacts our relationships. Let's be real, having some baggage is completely normal. Everyone has some baggage. Even after we release baggage, we still can accumulate. None of us comes into a relationship squeaky clean and baggage free. We all have a past. We all have scars, wounds, and we all have lessons we have picked up along the way. That's simply part of being human, right? Here is the catch. If you don't unpack and release your baggage, it doesn't just block your intimate relationships. It shows up everywhere. In your health, in your energy, in your work, even in your finances. Because at the end of the day, everything in life is a relationship, and people can feel our energy, and everything is energy. The only thing we can actually control is our energy. So it's really good to learn about that so we know how we are in life. I want you to think of unresolved emotional and mental baggage as a filter. It colors how we see ourselves, our partners, and their actions. Because think about it, a late reply to a text can suddenly feel like a rejection. How many times someone was late to text you and you thought they were rejecting you? A harmless comment from someone in our relationship might sting so much because it reminds us of something painful from years ago that happened and it's still unresolved. If you carry a fear of abandonment, even small delays can trigger panic or suspicion. If you're holding on to anger from a past betrayal, you might find yourself jealous or uncomfortable, even when your current partner has done nothing wrong. In short, all this old pain can sneak into today and create confusion and unnecessary tension in our relationship and life. When baggage goes unchecked, Even small disagreements can spiral into big arguments. An argument that begins about, let's say, dirty dishes can turn into, you don't care about me, you don't love me, etc. I've seen it so many times. That intensity is not about the actual dishes. It's an old wound. It's a baggage being poked by a new situation. Research has found that couples who never talk about their baggage experience more frequent conflicts, dramas, and less satisfaction in their relationship over time, because it's like a domino effect. One person's unhealed pain triggers the other person, and the cycle repeats until they learn to trust and understand what's going on from the root cause of the problem. The tricky part is that baggage often recreate the very things we fear most. For example, if you expect or think that people will leave you, you might act clingy or anxious, suspicious, which can push others away, almost proving that your fear is right. If you have decided, I will never let anyone hurt me again, you might build walls so high around your heart that your partner never gets close, leaving you lonely even while you're in relationship. Your subconscious mind job is to protect you, but in reality, it's blocking intimate relationship, love, and leaving you frustrated, no matter how hard you try to make things work. That's why it's important to address the baggage from the subconscious mind. And here's the hopeful part. Understanding this is not meant to discourage you. It's meant to empower you, because there is a solution, and it's often easier than you think. I've seen clients shift dramatically after just few sessions of clearing baggage. They stop getting triggered in the same old ways. They attract healthier relationships, and some even move from years of frustration into getting married. Others learn how to date again with confidence and attract partners who truly meet them and have the same values. Others learn how to date again with confidence and attract partners that have similar values and meet them with respect and care, not like before. When you start paying attention to the baggage you're carrying, you open the space to discover tools and guidance that help you to let go. God always brings the people, place, and things to help you to release it. Because when you have the awareness and you communicate, you find the right support. You can free yourself from patterns, behavior, stories that once felt impossible to change. I see this all the time in my work. Once people start unpacking, not only do they feel lighter, but their relationships become calmer, more open, more loving. There is better communication. They start setting boundaries that keep the relationship healthier. And here is something powerful. When you take responsibility for your own baggage and begin releasing it, you naturally stop attracting partners that weigh you down, that make you feel bad about yourself by unhealed baggage that they have themselves. Healing, shifting your baggage, shifts the energy of who you are and what you invite and attract into your life. Taking ownership of your baggage. One of the biggest mistakes we make is expecting a new relationship or a new partner to magically fix our old pain, make us feel beautiful, or boost our confidence. I've seen it so many times. It's tempting to think, if I find the right person, all my insecurities will disappear. Or sometimes they say, without realizing it, we hand over our baggage to our partner with the silent message, here, you carry this for me. You take care of it for me. And you know what? That's magical thinking. Because the truth is that approach is not fair. And it doesn't work. Maybe you have already tried it and know how exhausting it can be for both sides. While it's absolutely okay to lean on your partner for support and lean on your friends in the relationship, it's not okay to make them carry the full weight of your stories, baggage. That's more like dumping responsibility, and it creates imbalance in the relationship. Ultimately, each of us is responsible for healing our own wounds and scars on this life journey. The psychologist Dr. Harriet Lerner, in her book The Dance of Intimacy, calls this self-work. She reminds us that while a loving partner can hold your hand, they cannot unpack your baggage for you. They can walk alongside you, but the actual unpacking, shifting, healing, the deep healing is your responsibility. And when both partners accept this truth, it builds foundation for respect, balance, and a healthier long-term connections. You are not each other's therapists. You're equals, supporting one another as you shift, heal, and grow. Taking ownership starts with self-awareness. That means asking yourself, what baggage am I carrying? What still feels unresolved? What triggers me? And where might that reaction really be coming from? Journaling about these questions can reveal patterns you did not realize were there. You might notice, I feel anxious when someone ignores me. That tracks back to being left waiting as a child, maybe. Or I shut down in arguments because in my family conflicts never felt safe. Naming your baggage is really powerful because it shifts you from acting on an autopilot to consciously rewriting your patterns and knowing that you actually need to ask for help. And if you find it's hard to be done, that's where guidance helps. This is exactly the kind of work I do with clients through my Baggage BeGone process, helping them release old pain at the root in the subconscious mind so they stop repeating the same cycles. If this resonates, you can always book a free call with me. Sometimes that first conversation is the turning point toward a lighter, freer life. And right now I have a 30% on my 12-week program. Go ahead and look at my website. You can find the link. It's something like 12-week program. The next step is communicating your awareness openly and respectfully. Remember, your partner is not a mind reader. If you don't explain your triggers, they might misinterpret your behavior. For example, you might say, I notice when I pull away when we argue because I'm really scared of arguments. I'm working on it, and I want you to know it's not your fault. This kind of communication, honesty, invites understanding instead of confusion. It also opens the door for your partner to share their own patterns, so you both avoid stepping on each other's wounds. Relationship expert Dr. Sue Johnson calls this creating a safe haven. It means building an emotionally safe space where both partners can share fears, hurts, and needs without fear of attack or dismissal. When you both listen and with compassion, that load feels less heavy and more like something you can both sort through together. Let me share about a couple I worked with. I will call them, let's say, James and Anna. They had been married for over 30 years when they came to me, but Anna was ready to just get divorced. She felt shut out because whenever they had conflicts, James would completely shut down. She said, I can't do this anymore. I remember when she came in, she said to me, you know what? I can't do it anymore. He won't talk to me and I feel invisible. He doesn't love me. In our sessions, James found out that his silence was not about Anna at all. Because growing up as the sixth child in a loud, chaotic family, his way of surviving was to stay quiet and avoid being targeted by his dad. He didn't want to get beaten up. That habit became his emotional baggage, and it was now sabotaging his marriage. Through our process of the Baggage BeGone, James released his anger, sadness, and so much more, and the fear to speak up. He had carried this fear since he was really like 5 years old, even earlier. For the first time, he could stay present with Anna. And when they had argument, conflicts, he actually spoke up instead of disappearing, shutting down, and letting her feel like he does not like her. And they're still married. they still from time to time come and talk to me about their business, something else, thank God. At the same time, Anna explored her own baggage. She grew up with a father who was absent a lot. He worked hard, and it was hard to talk to him and to reach him, which left her constantly fighting for attention. So when she found out about her own baggage and released it, she stopped taking it personally. When her husband was silent, she realized he is busy with his own stuff. Instead of feeling abandoned, she learned to talk to him, get closer, go to date nights, and be patient and understanding and compassionate. The result, they broke their old cycle of craziness. James started sharing his feeling instead of shutting down, and Anna felt seen and valued again. And what started on the edge of divorce turned out to a fresh start. Now they are traveling all the time. And from time to time, I hear from them when they just want to talk to me about their business or their kids, not about their marriage, thank God. This story just shows what's possible when both people take responsibility, when you release your own baggage, you know? Taking ownership also means knowing when to ask for support. There is no shame reaching out, you know, because I think traditional therapy can bring great awareness, but from my own experience of going to 28 years of therapy, what I've seen in my clients, to release the baggage from the subconscious mind, tools like hypnosis and energy work are working much better because that's where we go to the root of the problem. Hypnotherapy helps guide to clear the old programming and rewire the subconscious mind with new empowering beliefs. I love the energy work because it's released the emotional charge that keeps the triggers alive and shift them really easily and effortlessly. Both of these tools together, they guide to let go at the root instead of just managing the symptoms, and believe me, they're life-changing. The bottom line is this: you don't have to carry your baggage alone, but you do have to be willing to take responsibility to participate in the unloading process. With the right support, you can finally stop reliving the past and start living fully in the present, and that's powerful. I'm going to move to the tools. The first tool I'm going to talk about is the power of forgiveness. Let's talk about one of the most powerful tools for releasing emotional baggage. Forgiveness is something many people have a hard time with, especially if they have been deeply hurt. The mind says, if I let this go, it means what they did to me was okay. But that's not true, because forgiveness is not about excusing or forgetting. It's about freeing yourself. You are actually helping yourself to free yourself energetically from the other person. And that's really powerful. And there is an old saying, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Did you hear about that? I used to hear about that and not understand until I started working on it and understanding, wow, that's powerful. I don't want to drink someone else's poison anymore. When we refuse to forgive, we are the ones still suffering because we carry all resentments into our daily life, into our relationships, into our family, into our everything, dragging ghosts from the past into our present, and it's not fair to us. You can check the Mayo Clinic warns that when you hold on to grudges, resentments, you are more likely to bring that bitterness into new experiences, meaning your relationship. It's like recreating the past on repeat. Who wants that? If you're still angry at how an ex treated you, you might become suspicious of a new partner or keep scanning for betrayal, even when nothing is wrong. It's as if your ex is still in the room with you, controlling your energy and stealing your joy. And here's what happens. When resentment takes up all the space in your heart, there is no room left for a new relationship or new love, trust, or peace. Your energy is basically blocked. So what is forgiveness? Forgiveness means you release the hold that this person or event has over you. You stop letting them dictate how you feel and who you become. One of my favorite definitions is this: you cannot change what happened, but you can change your relationship to it. Basically, your attitude. The benefits of forgiveness are not just emotional, they're physical. And research shows that forgiveness lowers stress, anxiety, and depression. Johns Hopkins medicine has linked forgiveness to lower blood pressure, a healthier immune system, and even better sleep. In relationships, forgiving makes it possible to move forward without replaying the same conflict. It's like finally unpacking a suitcase filled with bitterness so you can travel lighter. Honestly, you feel lighter after you forgive. Of course, forgiveness is not easy. Sometimes it feels impossible, even when wounds are deep. But here's the shift. Forgiveness is not a gift to the other person who hurt you. It's a gift you give yourself. You don't forgive because they deserve it. You forgive because you deserve to be free. One of the most beautiful tools I use personally and with clients is the Ho'oponopono, the ancient Hawaiian practice of forgiveness and reconciliation. Ho'oponopono is based on the idea that everything in our lives is connected. When there is pain, conflict, or hurt, we can heal it by taking responsibility for our part in it, not in a blaming way, but in a way that recognizes our shared energy. The practice is simply but profound. It usually involves repeating 4 healing statements. I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. These words may sound simple, but when you repeat them with intention, they begin to shift your subconscious and release the emotional charge around old wounds. I use Ho'oponopono almost daily, and I teach it to my client. The results are often immediate. There is a sense of peace, a release of tension, even a new perspective on the past. And I see it as magical. There is a research showing that this practice lowers stress and helps people forgive more easily, even after years of holding on to it. If you want to go deeper with Ho'oponopono, you can listen to my podcast episode where I dedicate a whole session to it, or check out the guided practice I share on my YouTube channel. And if you like me to personally walk you through this process in a powerful one-on-one session, reach out. I would love to schedule time to guide you. I'm going to move to the second tool that I recommend to release the baggage is hypnosis. Not all of our emotional baggage is accessible through everyday thinking and talking. A lot of what weighs us down lives in the subconscious mind, the part of us that stores old memories, our stories, our beliefs, and they can be buried in our subconscious mind. You might consciously say, I'm over that person or breakup, or that was a long time ago, yet your body and your subconscious mind can tell a different story. Maybe your heart races in situations you logically know you're safe, or you find yourself anxious even when nothing is wrong. That's a sign that there is a baggage that is hidden and it's still playing in your subconscious mind. And if you are overwhelmed and in the loop all the time regarding situations, it means that you have a baggage. That's why you're stuck. This is where hypnosis can be powerful. And let me be clear, this is not stage hypnosis or clacking like a chicken. In the therapeutic sense, hypnosis is a proven technique that guides you into a relaxed, focused state, almost like being absorbed in a movie or a daydreaming. In this state, the critical, analytical part of your mind quiets down, but you're still awake. And your subconscious becomes more open to healing, reframing, and new perspectives because you are not resisting. And hypnosis often uses guided imagery and symbolism to communicate with the subconscious mind easily, because that's the language our subconscious mind understands and comfortable with. If you're curious to explore this method, I would love to guide you. I offer free calls where we can talk about what you're carrying and whatever hypnosis and my Baggage BeGone process might be the right fit for you. Often, just taking that first step brings a sense of hope and lightness. I know, we have talked about some heavy things today, but I want to leave you with hope. Having awareness about your emotional, mental baggage is not just about letting go of the past. It's about creating stronger, healthier relationships and a lighter, freer version of yourself. Every time you release little bit of this baggage, it means there is a new energy circulating. You create more space for love, joy, and peace to enter into your life. What if you stopped seeing baggage only as a burden and started seeing it as an opportunity, as a lesson? Because hidden inside those struggles are life lessons, resilience, empathy, compassion, clarity about what really matters and how strong and how powerful and gifted you are. And when you take responsibility and the person that you're in a relationship with take responsibility, it doesn't drive you apart. It can actually bring you closer, because that intimate relationship, vulnerability, builds intimacy. Saying, this is what hurts, and hearing, I'm here, I understand, is what creates real intimate relationship. That's real connection. I see this all the time with my clients. One client who went through the baggage BeGone process shared something that touched me deeply. They said, I did not expect it, but my life looks and feels completely different today than it did last year. The process of clearing my baggage shifted and changed my life. It was truly transforming. I am not the same person I was before. Just imagine, where could you be this time next year if you choose to release what's been weighing you down? Here's the truth. None of us come into a relationship completely baggage-free. That's perfect. That fully healed person does not exist. We all have scars, wounds. The goal is not to erase them, but to keep them from controlling our present or damaging your relationships. A healthy relationship is one where both partners take responsibility for their own shifting, healing, and then you can walk the journey with compassion instead of blaming each other and having all this trauma and drama. Before we wrap up, I want to thank you for being here, and I want you to remember that having baggage does not mean you're broken. It means you're human. Every experience you have lived has shaped you to be the magnificent human being that you are. Those experiences can become your strength instead of your baggage. So here's to letting go of what no longer serves you and opening up to the connection, intimacy, love, peace, and life you truly deserve. Healing is a journey, and every step forward counts. I want you to celebrate every little progress. And thank you for being here with me today on Baggage BeGone Healing Hearts and Minds. If this conversation spoke to you, please subscribe so you don't miss further episodes. Leave comment to let me know what resonates with you, and share this with someone who might need it. Until next time, take good care of yourself, and remember, you don't have to carry those bags forever. You're worthy of healing, worthy of love, and worthy of lighter, freer life. See you next week. This is Tammy. If you're curious and want to dive deeper, you are in the right space. I ask you to look within for all the things that you want to do, be, and have. Join me at the Baggage BeGone Healing Hearts and Minds podcast with new episodes every Wednesday as we discover the path towards healing and transformation.